Mac, this is the album art that we've selected for Here Comes the Cowboy. I mean, you could have hit me up, man. I would have let you use this picture because you know this would have worked 10 times better. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to ARTV. My name is John, and it's time for a review of the 5th studio album by the indie artist Mac DeMarco. This one is called Here Comes the Cowboy. This follows up his 2017 full-length album, This Old Dog, but with Mac DeMarco, you never really know if you're going to get a mini LP, if you're going to get an EP, or a full-length album. Now, This Old Dog was an enjoyable project for me. In fact, I don't feel it was quite as good as some of his best stuff like Salad Days and Another One, but still, it was on the level, I suppose you could say, of great quality for Mac. I kept coming back to tracks like the one that I just referenced there and Dreams from Yesterday. And moving into this new one, I feel that I was looking forward to it, but still something had me feeling a little bit antsy, especially after hearing some of the singles from it. I don't know, this is an album that kind of feels isolated, and it's one that's bleak in many ways. At times it does feel a bit pointless, and that's not a great feeling to get from a record. But I also have to say that listening through this record, especially at a late night mood and a time where I really felt stressed out, it did kind of help calm me down. I found it to be soothing. Not every single track, but certain ones. Just the slow, snail-moving pace almost. It kind of helps you concentrate, think, and start to feel something different. And I feel that Mac's intentions going in here were to get an emotional response, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I love when I can connect to music in that way. But the overall pacing of this record does become an issue in places, and also I do have to mention that this record was kicked off with some controversy. Now, the singer-songwriter Mitski, who is incredibly talented, put out an album called Be the Cowboy last year, and it featured a single titled Nobody, and of course, Mac leads off his album with a single called Nobody, and we've also got Here Comes the Cowboy, so Mitski fans started going for Mac's throat, but then Mitski took it in stride, and I love that. She said obviously this wasn't intentional. Mac's team said that he wasn't even aware of the record until after he had already put out the single and everything. I think it was just one of those things that happens to be coincidental. That's totally fine, but I thought it was kind of funny, and it feels like, I don't know, not a companion piece to Be the Cowboy in any way, but in places I think there's at times a bleak mood that kind of matches, and that's kind of odd that two artists were both in that similar mindset. Now, with Here Comes the Cowboy, I feel that we've got a record on our hands that definitely is a mood album. You're probably not just going to sit down and listen to this record at any given time. And that's a little bit unfortunate considering Mac DeMarco's music at times, for me, has just felt therapeutic in the sense that you can relate to it. It often has a nice kind of jizzy-jazzy swagger to it. That's how Mac DeMarco has described himself in the past, jizz jazz as a genre. But I would say here, this is just kind of a moody, at times almost bluesy in the sense that that's the lyrical content's main influence type record. There's traces of folk, there's also some indie here, and obviously we get a lot of somber instrumentation. It feels like you're kind of in a chamber with Mac, and we're in his headspace. On some of these tracks, I have to say that it goes over well. Some of my absolute favorites like Heart to Heart, which remain catchy but also kind of stay in that lane of depression in a way. It feels like a conversation. A lot of this record seems to be dealing with the loss of a relationship, possibly even a friendship. That's touched on again on the closing track, Baby Bye Bye, which is one of the greatest tracks here. Although it does run on for a little bit long, we get some chatter separating the first part of the track, which I really do like, from the closing moment that feels like it was something out of Grand Funk Railroad. That's not necessarily a bad thing. I just don't know if we wanted to close out the record on that note, but I also get it. Ending on a high note is kind of the theme here. It seems like he's taking everything, wearing the heart on the sleeve a bit, but also kind of keeping an optimistic attitude, and it seems nice that he's referring to himself as, you know, continuing to be this old dog. I'm just gonna pick myself back up again. It's going to be okay, and that's nice to see that resiliency. Now, on some of the other cuts here, I mentioned this record feeling a bit pointless. Well, the opening track, Here Comes the Cowboy, the title track, obviously, it just doesn't do a thing. It repeats itself, it stutters, it keeps going in circles, and I have no idea why that's the opening cut. It does nothing, it goes nowhere. And same thing for the track Choo Choo, which just gets damn annoying. Choo Choo over and over again. Mac, why you gotta pull that one out on us? Now, for tracks like that, they are matched by some of the great ones on this LP. I have to say another one of my top favorites personally was Skyless Moon, even though the opening chords, probably just because it's so popular and it's been everywhere in 2019, it's reminding me ever so slightly of Old Town Road, and that is almost haunting me in a way because I want to love this song for the lyrical content and for the kind of bleak portrait that he's able to portray here, but I still have it creeping into the back of my mind. Some of the other tracks, like Little Dog's March, I found to be a bit forgettable. I think K was pretty nice, although I can't say that I see myself coming back to this for a ton of repeat listens. I really did like All of Our Yesterdays and On the Square, though, with the latter of those remaining catchy. It reminds me of some of the stuff that he was doing on This Old Dog. You hear a little bit of a synthesized effect on that one, but it's nice. It's not overblown or overdone, and nothing on this record really is. At the end of the day, Here Comes the Cowboy is an album that is going to exist for some people. It's going to be okay. You might have a few tracks that you come back to, but for others, it'll be kind of therapeutic. I feel that this is just kind of something that you want to lock yourself away with, maybe put on a pair of headphones, go for a drive or a late night walk or something. I don't know. It's an album that I've had a tough time with, but it's also kind of been cathartic in a way. So for that, I am going to say a strong 3 out of 5 for me personally. Let me know your thoughts on Here Comes the Cowboy in the comment section down below. Don't forget to drop a like on the review while you're here. I've got more on the way, so don't forget to subscribe for the love of music. Tap right here to see my review of This Old Dog by Mac DeMarco, or click right over here to see another recent indie review I uploaded on the channel. You can connect with me on social media, including my Patreon page if you'd like to help out with a donation at the links in the description down below. I'll see you soon for more right here on ARTV.